What's up, guys? We are back again to find the best deck in Clash Royale. We're going to be searching through the YouTube comment section, exploring your guys' unique strategies, and seeing if they're trash or treasure. I'll be testing the decks out myself to see how strong they really are. At the very end, I'll be rating them and giving improvements to see if we can make the deck even stronger. So let's get right into the action and try to find the new best deck in Clash Royale. And a huge thanks to everyone that's using creator code SirTag, making high-effort videos like this one possible. Corey is bringing back Minor Poison. So the very first deck of the day, I love that we're starting off strong with Minor Poison. It feels like a throwback, you know? It used to be my favorite deck in the game. And now, Minor Wall Breakers has kind of overshadowed it, right? But maybe the cannon card's going to clutch up. Maybe the cannon card's going to do a ton of damage for me. I think with the Valkyrie especially, like, maybe your opponent will go in for a bait card, and then the Valkyrie will be in front of the cannon card, so it'll eliminate the Skeleton Army or the Goblin Gang, allowing the cannon card more of a paved pathway to secure that tower damage. Also, look at this. We're testing it already. Can we power through the Musketeer? I waited and I leaked a little bit of elixir because I wanted the Valkyrie to soak up the damage. So the cannon card would be a bit healthier here, but I don't have my Miner in cycle. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think cannon card is as reliable of a win condition as I was hoping, but maybe he'll prove me wrong and lock onto the tower here. He has to snowball early. Look at the bats. The fact that I was able to get the cannon card tanking for the bats is brutal for our opponent. And then I can go for a poison plus a log to finish off the Musketeer. So it's already showing that, you know, cannon card doesn't even need to reach the tower. If it's tanking for the miner or it's tanking for the bats, you can get a lot of value from that too. I love how this deck is working so far. Definitely am a fan of the cannon card. I feel like it's a card that deserves a lot more love in Clash Royale, and I'm glad that you put it in the deck. So I'm going to go for the cannon card in the back. You know, we'll be able to snipe the miner from pretty far away. I wonder if my opponent's going to go in for a rocket, a poison, a fireball, plus a log. We'll have to wait and see. In any event, if you want to go in for a bomb tower there, it's still a vibe for me. One thing that I've realized when I was watching the best players in the world, they go in for their Valkyrie and it will tank for the miner. The reason is they're like, okay, the Valkyrie's not going to reach the tower. The miner will reach the tower. If the Valkyrie is going to be soaking up all the shots for the miner, that means more hits for the miner. I know you guys are like, miner heals the tower, but in a miner versus miner matchup, we're both healing the towers. We're just seeing who heals up a little bit faster out here. And I'm going to poison on him, get some more damage. Wow, you know what? I like the fact that I've got Fire Spirit to cycle and get chip damage. That thing's going to bait out elixir. Oh my gosh. Not only did it bait out elixir, it baited out all of his elixir. All right, so that level 13 Tesla, it should still take 2 shots from the balloon. I was a little bit petrified of our opponent whipping out a freeze. So I'm like, let's drop that as far up as possible. We don't care about it. If you want a miner, it's still a vibe. Oh my gosh, giving me the poison value on that. I love it. You know what? This deck is really, really cool. Even though I've got some under-leveled cards, it doesn't matter that much. I'm going to try to cycle back and get to our Tesla here. I'm going to get a poison down if I need to. Ooh, I missed it. Oh, I definitely need a poison now. Oh, no, we're fine. Never mind. It's all part of the plan. It was all part of the plan. Completely calculated. Whenever you miss it, you just say calculated, just like all the pro players. They're like, oh, lag, drag glitch, right? So I'm going to go for a log, try to hit skeletons. Maybe we can get some value from that. Yeah, look at that pro play, guys. Predictions, Kappa. All right, so he knows, and we both know that that is not going to be breaking through. That balloon is useless. But he probably doesn't know that I can go in for a cannon card here, force out an Ice Golem, and then go for the miner in the back and poison on the skeletons. This might be really weird, you guys, poisoning on skeletons, but it's probably going to be worth it because we will get a lot of value overall. Also, I think the cannon card might die and pull back the balloon. Oh, look at that! That's insane! I love how this deck works. One thing that I gotta be honest with you guys, though, is I think if I had wall breakers, I would have won the game by now. Cannon card, it's able to get body blocked by the Ice Golem, and that's why you don't see Minor Poison as a win condition typically played at top ladder. Pro players, they'll go in for the wall breakers, and that's why Minor Wall Breakers is consistently played in top 10, and this deck isn't. So I'm struggling to break through. I'm struggling to finish off the game. Maybe if I was playing against a better player, I would lose, but I still really like the deck. I gotta be honest with you guys, I would rate this a 8.5 out of 10. It wouldn't really change anything in the deck because I was able to get a lot of value with the cannon card. The Valkyrie plus cannon card combination was cool. It's just Minor Poison at its core. It can't get much stronger than this. If you want to take your Miner cycle decks to the next level, I would highly encourage you to start playing a Minor Wall Breakers deck like the one that I have right here. This one is consistently played at the top 10, and it has a lot of sources of getting chip damage with the Magic Archer, the Wall Breakers, and the Miner, so you're not just relying on Minor Poison to completely finish off your opponent. But if you want to play a pure Minor Poison deck, this is about as good as it can get, and I really enjoyed playing it. So 8.5 out of 10 for me. David is completely embracing the chaos with 3 win conditions in one deck. All right, guys, so it's time to put David's triple win condition deck to the test. I seriously have no clue how this is going to work for me. I'm looking at it, and I felt like I've already went to the buffet and overate. I'm perplexed. I'm just sitting there with a food coma, wishing I didn't have 3 win conditions in the same deck. It's really hard to decide what you want when you have everything in front of you, and it all costs so much, right? Like, looking at the deck, if our opponent goes in for a P.E.K.K.A., how am I supposed to stop that, right? P.E.K.K.A. or mini P.E.K.K.A., I can't distract it that well. Also, Bowler, why are you so stupid? You literally could have targeted the mini P.E.K.K.A., but you saw that the tower is going to finish off the mini P.E.K.K.A., and you just kept walking into the mini P.E.K.K.A. shot. Isn't that ridiculous, guys? Let me know down below in the comment section if you think that Clash Royale needs to change that. Recap on the Bowler there. The Bowler shouldn't have taken that hit. He deserves a better life. Also, just recap as well, I wish that the Bowler had some distractions in the deck, whether it be skeletons, guards, cheap elixir investments. That would make this deck so much better. 3 big win conditions and no cycle cards is a recipe for disaster, in my opinion. Also, this guy, yeah, he's going to have arrows with this deck, right? Ooh, Firecracker, Firecracker, pop off for me. Do him dirty. Wait, that mini P.E.K.K.A. is going to go towards my tower. No, are you kidding me? What? Mini P.E.K.K.A. was looking left, he was looking right, and he's like, yo, that tower's in my sight, and I'm going to crush it. Also, my opponent has arrows too, and the Firecracker simply does not bait out the arrows well enough. I've got a very clunky card cycle, so I can't cycle back to another thing. I guess I'm going to take a tower here, but I mean, I'm so scared. Wait, I've got arrows for the minion horde. This might work. This disaster of a scenario might be salvageable. Please don't giant in the middle. Don't do it to me right now. Just chill. Just relax a little bit, bruh. He's eating all the Bowler damage too. But the thing that I was going to get back to is I don't think that the synergy with the Firecracker is great in the deck. Specifically because it doesn't have any other arrow bait. I don't have minions. I don't have Princess. I literally don't have anything. I'm going to go for a Goblin Drill on defense because, you know, I wish I had some other defensive cards, but it is full offense with this deck. That's how we're operating out here, under the assumption that everything has to go on offense. All right, so the Royal Delivery is going to be super good. Let's get it. I can go Goblin Cage, maybe? Oh, that's not targeting on the Goblin Cage. That's hitting my Bowler instead. Oh, no. Oh, no. That wasn't how it was supposed to go down. Poor Firecracker, always getting assassinated. I have no way of saving her. Also, look at my hand right now. I've got like Royal Hogs, Ram Rider, and Goblin Drill. Like, what am I supposed to do when he cycles a Sparky in the back? Like, go Royal Hogs and try to 3-crown him? It's uncomfy. It is uncomfy. I like the fact that you've got Royal Hogs and that you've also got Goblin Drill in the same deck. I like that because maybe your opponent's got Valkyrie or Dark Prince and you can bait out one of them, and then they're not going to have that for your second win condition at the river. But in this type of situation, when I have 3 of them, it's just a little bit difficult. So I'm going to try to get that Firecracker down. He's going to go arrows on me again. Rail Delivery, you have to shut down the mini P.E.K.K.A. because we've taken way too much from that mini P.E.K.K.A. today. I might be able to get a Goblin Drill here. Eat the damage from the initial Sparky. And then have the second Sparky hit the Goblin Cage. And then we can arrow on top of the minion horde and make a huge counter pressure. This is what I'm hoping for right now. We need him to ignore the Bowler again. He's not going to ignore the Bowler for 3 times in a row, guys. I'm telling you, that is not the charm. Mini P.E.K.K.A. definitely is able to kill the Rail Delivery in time, and then it should be able to walk onto the tower and win the game. So GG and well played, our opponent. As you guys can see, without distractions from mini P.E.K.K.A.s or P.E.K.K.A.s or any bridge spam, this deck is going to fall short in a lot of situations. And having 3 win conditions in the deck made the cycle way too clunky. So I made a few changes. Here's the updated version. I took out the Ram Rider and put in Skeletons, so now you actually have distractions against P.E.K.K.A., and you're not going to have to wait 5 elixir to cycle a card. I took out the Rail Delivery for Fiery Spirit, so now you have another source of chip damage. It's really annoying for people to have to deal with, and they'll probably overspend on it, or they'll take 300 damage if it locks onto the tower, and it will give you a faster card cycle. So now you have 2 cheap 1 elixir cost cards, so if you get into a bad hand, you can get out of sticky situations. And lastly, we shot that Firecracker up into the sky, and she is never coming back. I put in the Fly Machine instead because it has great Fireball bait synergy with the Rail Hogs. Let's say your opponent has a fast cycle with Fireball and Valkyrie. They're probably going to go for a Valkyrie to go and counter the Goblin Drill, and a Fireball on top of the Fly Machine. And if they don't have their Fireball and Valkyrie in cycle, your Royal Hogs are going to get a ton of damage on them. I gotta rate your original deck a 5.5 out of 10. It just did not work in a lot of situations. I love the card concept of Royal Hogs plus Goblin Drill beating out Valkyries, and I think that the updated version of the deck, building upon the core that you created, will work really well. Test it out and let me know how it works for you. Amur said that this Mega Knight Ram Rider deck is really consistent. Let's try it out. Off to the races in the next game. You guys already know I love playing Mega Knight plus Ram Rider. I think it's the best way of running a Mega Knight deck and only way that pro players play it. You don't see Mega Knight played with bait decks with, you know, a skeleton barrel anymore at top ladder. You only see Ram Rider specifically with Lightning, which I feel like this deck is missing. You know, when I'm looking at the deck with a cursory glance and I'm looking over it and seeing the Valkyrie and the Mega Knight in the same deck, these are people that typically don't meet up on the same side of the battlefield. Usually, Mega Knight is the much more aggressive card, whereas the Valkyrie is played with control decks like Minor Wall Breakers. And for good reason, too, right? Like, they don't want to be in the same deck because they do the exact same thing. They're going to be fighting over whose job it is to accomplish stuff. So, yeah, I think that you might want to sub that out for the Lightning, and then you'll have a very, very strong card combination. You already have a good card combination with Ram Rider plus Mega Knight. I think that is objectively the best version of any type of Ram Rider or Mega Knight deck that you could play, but this deck will get, like, elevated to the next level with the Lightning, and the reason is, if you look at your deck, you got the Mega Knight, you got the Ram Rider. What if your opponent drops an Inferno Tower? Like, maybe you can go for bats in the middle and distract it, but it's not necessarily very reliable as the game gets on later. You want to make sure that you have opportunities to do a lot of damage to your opponent's tower, damage down elixir collectors, maybe also break through buildings from good log bait players that will have an Inferno Tower and know how to place it and will, you know, not fall for the trick of getting the bats down in time. So I think that would be like the biggest change right out of the jump that I would do. Let's see how the rest of the deck operates. So he's going to go for Bandito Despacito, and he's also going to Mega Knight on me too. You know what? We're able to bounce back that Bandit and maybe get the Mega Knight on the tower. Yo, the Mega Knights are going to have some friendship dance out here. Come on now.
Hi, I'm Dora.
It's me, Mario.
Look at that. They cross paths, and they're hugging right now, right on the side of the battlefield after we slap your tower silly. Also, wow, which is probably going to give me a lot of value here. I don't know if we're able to kill that. Ooh, this is a bit spooked. Oh my gosh, the Witch spawned one skeleton. That little Larry on the left-hand side. The bats wouldn't have been able to finish off both of the wall breakers in time. So, you know what? I was considering swapping out the Witch, but maybe you could keep the Witch in the deck. I think the Witch is a pretty good card too. Like in situations where your opponent has to go for a zap on top of your skeleton army, maybe you got the Witch out here to go and spawn skeletons. So your opponent's like, wait, I have to zap on everything. This is unfair. I was hoping that we could get him to go in for the zap and also relinquish all of his elixir so that maybe we can get that bandit to die. Oh, beautiful. Wow, this game has been going so well for us. I'm going to arrow, not get a positive elixir trade there, but I do clip the musketeer, so maybe you could say it is a positive elixir trade. But anyway, when you're playing against control decks, the thing that you do is you cycle your Mega Knight in the back, and you're like, why would you cycle Mega Knight in the back? You're not getting the splash damage or, you know, the big jump. The reason why you got to do that is you got to build up a big push, and it's your big tank. You know, it's kind of like a golem, but it's a little bit more scuffed. Also, this guy, he's sealing the strategy, guys. He is actually running lightning. So yeah, being able to snipe my Witch is pretty annoying. You know, I don't want that to happen. I'm going to have to struggle in this game because if I don't get him to overcommit like that, you know, I'm probably screwed. It's comical that he's running Miner, the card that heals towers. This little plush shovel hitting us. It's not doing so well, you know? It's not those cards that you have to worry about. If I'm able to get a Ram Rider here and then cycle bats pretty quickly, I should be fine. Don't know if the Ram Rider is going to get a connection. He does zap it. Wow. This is such a tough game. This is a really tough battle today. I am not going to lie. I wasn't expecting this, sir. So I'm going to go in for the Witch in the back. I can also maybe even follow up with a Valkyrie if I really want to. Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to go in for a Valkyrie in the back. That's what we got to do. Wait for you to go in for some more spam. This game has been tight simply because I don't have a big spell. If I had lightning, this game would have been very far from like the finish right now. This would have been over. So I'm going to ram right on the other side. He's going to go in for a miner. I will go for a skeleton army to shut that down. I got to switch it up and go other lane now if I want to win the game. I can't keep dropping my units into a Mega Knight. It's not going to work. So I got to make sure that he's at a limited amount of elixir, and then we can make something happen with another Mega Knight on top of this. Eat the bandit damage because he has so much damage on the right-hand side that I can afford to eat some damage there. And I'm going to go in for the Ram Rider and bats after he zaps, hopefully. So then we can arrow on top of the minions, and he's going to have to zap on the Ram Rider, and then the bats should win the game. I hope that the bats just lock on the tower and win us the game. Did I make the prediction? I think I did. The bats are ravaging him right now. I'm going to Valkyrie that is able to shut down the miner, hopefully. Are you going to spam me? What are you going to do? You're going to zap on top of a skeleton army? No, you're not back to zap because you just dropped the zap on top of the Ram Rider. I'm able to arrow you, the Valkyrie, and the miner. Woo! Let's go! The tails that you guys have not seen. It's working. The Ram Rider actually powers its way through. So yeah, in this type of situation, I had to rely on a little bit of a gimmicky tactic, right? It's not necessarily the most reliable to go and switch other side and hope that your opponent doesn't defend. But if you don't have lightning, that's what you have to do. So I'll show you the updated version of the deck and things that I would try to change. But the only thing that I would definitely change for sure is subbing out that Valkyrie for lightning. I would have been able to go in the same lane as my opponent and guarantee that he wouldn't have been able to spell cycle me and do more damage. The updated version of this deck is going to have Bandit for more aggressive potential. If my opponent is going to have an Inferno Tower control deck, I don't think that the mini P.E.K.K.A is going to find its way through to hit the tower. The Bandit is way more sneaky and everyone complains about it. I also love Inferno Dragon with Mega Knight. If you sub out the mini P.E.K.K.A, you gotta have a way of melting tanks, and the Inferno Dragon will fulfill that purpose. Inferno Dragon's main weakness is always going to be Electro Dragon, but since you have Lightning, you're not going to have to worry about that, so that's why I feel like Inferno Dragon fits perfectly in the deck. So I gotta rate your deck a 7 out of 10. I love the card combination of Mega Knight plus Ram Rider, but I think it falls short if you're playing against someone with a control deck where you're not able to break through them because you don't have a Lightning or a big spell. Raymond got a new personal best with this Graveyard deck. All right, so it's no surprise that this Graveyard deck was able to get you a new personal best. Graveyard is the best win condition in Clash Royale, and for good reason. 5 out of the top 10 in the world last season all ran Graveyard. And we're going to be putting it to the test with a Rascal's Mortar Graveyard bait deck. Good thing about Rascal's Bait with Graveyard is if your opponent logs on top of the Graveyard, then they're not going to have the log for the Rascals or the Spear Goblins. Usually they'll log on top of Rascals to finish them off, and then you can get the Graveyard Skeletons to surround their tower, and they're going to have no way of quickly cleaning up all those skeletons. So I love the synergy with the deck. Let's see how it works in action here. Playing against Royal Hogs, and the Mortar locks onto the tower. Let's get it. So the real test is, can we beat an Archer Queen player? Because that is the best card in Clash Royale. We aren't running champions out here. Can this free-to-play friendly deck devour the Queen? So Queen, she's going to die to Rascals even if you go undercover. Thick Boy too strong. Too strong out here. Get bats down, absolutely no damage. Don't even think the Bard Barrel connects. He's angry. Making an Archer Queen player rage. You know, that's a good testament to how strong the deck is. I'm going to get that Mortar down because I've got Fireball for him going in for a Royal Hog, so it's not going to be a bad thing at all. If I Fireball on top of the Fly Machine, I wouldn't have baited out those Zappies that were just completely useless. He gets no damage there at all. Forcing out the Zappies feels great because now we can Fireball on top of the Royal Hogs for a +1 trade. And we're just making this man angrier by the second. Wow, this is so cool. So what I was talking about before is if I can get a Rascals plus Graveyard down, maybe even at the same time if my opponent doesn't have log, it's really, really tough to defend that. I think that's probably the best push that you can do with the deck. If your opponent doesn't have log in cycle, you can go for Rascals plus Graveyard. And then if they've got Valkyrie, usually they'll want to drop the Valkyrie on top of the Rascals, and then they'll have nothing to clean up all of the skeletons because they won't have the splash damage of their Valkyrie, and then they also won't have the splash damage of the log to clean up everything at once. Yeah, I'm just going to Fireball on top of the Fly Machine. Looks like this game is completely under wraps. There wasn't even a sweat broken out here, guys. This guy was insanely angry the entire time. I was laid back, drinking water basically, chilling, relaxing, vibing while the Mortar does all the dirty work for us. I wonder if this stuff is going to get so close up that we can just get that Mortar connected on the tower. I think it would hit the Archer Queen instead. It is what it is. It don't matter. Whatever we're feeling, whatever we want to do, we'll be able to pop off and get that W. Only thing that's difficult is if the Flying Machine locks onto the tower, but that's not that bad if there's no tank in front of it. So I'm in a Graveyard, and I win! And it's no surprise he was a super angry Sir at the end too. This was by far the best deck of the day. 100% would not change a single thing. Maybe if you wanted to experiment for a more aggressive and offensive deck, you could put in a Cannon Cart instead of the Knight, but the Knight operates amazingly, free to play friendly, easier to level up, and it's a cheaper Graveyard tank. So keep it the way it is. It's a 9 out of 10 for me. Can't get much better than that. And it is the best deck of the day. The decks today were incredibly fun, but I gotta say, Raymond's Graveyard Mortar deck was today's treasure. It's easy to level up and pretty reliable no matter what matchup you get on ladder. I love doing this series, so make sure to let me know down below in the comment section if you have a deck for the next video. As always, like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more daily videos, and have an amazing rest of your day.